Hello, and welcome to what I believe will be the last of these particular piecemeal painting videos for the Oracle of Delphi. And the one thing that the Oracle really needs badly right now are eyebrows. And if you've ever seen those pictures on various sites where they've gotten rid of celebrity eyebrows, people look terrifying without them. So I intend to work on those today. I'm going to start by taking some burnt umber, and I've got some rubine red here as well. And I'm going to just kind of reduce the harshness of the brown by adding a bit of red to it, just to temper it a little bit. And that way it's not just a solid color. And we talked about how I don't like the idea of using just colors out of the tubes. I want to do a bit of mixing just to create some variety there. Also, up until now, we've been using budget brushes and budget paint, and the paint is still the Riotech brand, which is it's not bad. It's not one of the good ones. Golden paints, for example, are very good. Golden brand. But now I'm going to be using a bit of a nicer brush, and you can see this one's got a wedge shape to it, and I actually think of this brush as being my fine hair brush. I can create a very, very nice thin line with it, and that is how I'm going to be creating the eyebrows today. Now, I'm not going to be painting every single eyebrow hair, but I will be painting some of them because a lot of the eyebrow shape is made up of hairs that eventually come together. And they start fairly, what is this, vertical. I get vertical and horizontal mixed up sometimes. And then as they move away from the middle of the face, away from the tear duct, they start to curve outward and get a bit more horizontal. And so that's what we're going to show here today. So a bit more upright, a bit more vertical here, and then they start to veer come away. I'm gonna add a little bit more brown to that. I'm not 100% happy. It looks a bit too auburn right now. A lot of ladies from Greece have the darker hair, so let's try to add a bit more brown to that. Let's see how this looks here. Again, I'm trying to make sure that there's not too much paint on the brush. We want to get that really nice thin tip there. Okay, that's better. And actually you can see them a little bit nicer too. They kind of stand out. I went a bit too far there. One thing I did do before but didn't actually mention it was if the paint's still wet, you can take a little bit of saliva from your tongue. It sounds gross, I know. And just kind of like wipe away because the paint below it is dry. So you don't have to worry about that. Okay, we don't want to make her eyebrows too big here, but at the same time, we want to get that curve effect. So I'm not worried about the individual hairs here. I just worried about them when I first started. Oh, geez. And I dropped my brush. One thing you probably want to try and avoid is dropping your brush when it's still wet. And I'm just going to give the floor clean up here. I always have paper towels handy while I'm working, and this is exactly the reason why. And some water as well. Okay, no harm done. Oh god, that was great. I'm gonna actually be done the video. I'm not gonna bother restarting because that's fantastic. That's funny. I am at the best of times a clumsy individual, and I think as a painter, that is okay. All right. That's looking pretty good there. We definitely want to get the impression that her eyebrows are slightly raised. She's in some kind of state where she's able to interpret the will of the gods from the fumes that emanate from whatever container she's getting her predictions from. Now, whether right-handed or left-handed, here's where it gets tricky. I did the right hand first. I did it on purpose. I'm more comfortable. Here I've got to kind of either carefully do the same thing, but you're almost like thinking backwards, like in a mirror. You're trying to get the same effect in there. Or to make life easier for yourself, you can actually turn the whole painting around. I actually do this quite often when it comes to getting the mirror image of something. I try and do the one I'm comfortable with first. So in this case, that was my being right-handed, the right side of the painting. But because I'm right-handed, it makes the left-hand side a little bit more challenging sometimes. So you can kind of just flip your painting over. If you're comfortable keeping it upright, I think it's actually easier to see how it's looking, to compare the painting and the two sides together. You can see here, it's a little hard to tell, well, for me anyways right now, how far I'm going compared to the other side. It's also more tricky because the second time you do it, you've got the first one to kind of emulate. You want to try and keep the level about the same. So if I'm doing that, I need to go a bit higher over here. Hope you can see that okay. All right. I'll turn the painting back up right in just a second. You can also kind of see a little bit of my previous attempt. And this is actually my second attempt at the eyebrows. My first one did not turn out great. I wasn't very happy with the shape of them. So I redid it, and that's looking much nicer. I think maybe I need to go a bit higher over here. And again, if your picture's not turned upside down, it is a bit more awkward, but you can see it better. You can see the effect better and how it's turning out. I often use my pinky finger to kind of brace myself as I'm painting, just to make sure, like for fine details, to make sure that I'm not going too far over. Okay. And that's maybe still, well, she is, her head is a bit tilted, so I don't want to go too far with this here. But I'm liking the way that's looking. But what a difference the eyebrows make. So once again, I've been stressing this quite a lot. Don't stress yourself over a painting until it's more complete. So I've got this lovely auburn light brown. I'm going to actually also use it just to touch up around the face a little bit here and there, where I've got some dark lines anyways, which maybe could use a little bit more. So around the alum, the little nose wings we've got here, I'm just going to darken up a little bit because it's a nice, beautiful light brown we've got there. That mixture of burnt umber and red. It's also nice because it's a bit more of a natural looking sort of color. Some of the skin over here is a little bit gray. So if I can kind of just liven it up a little bit here and there, maybe not quite so thick. There we go. And you can kind of just add, some instead of highlights, they're almost like dark lights. Like you're darkening up some areas here and there, and maybe a little bit where there's a bit of a darker patch sort of here where the light can't quite get in, right around the nose. You can do a little bit there as well. Okay, so I'm actually really happy with that, how it's turned out so far. To finish up the painting, I'm probably gonna just touch up the hands a little bit more as well. Just same sort of idea, just adding a bit more dark here and there where I think it needs it. Little folds of skin here and there as well can just kind of add some extra realism to the piece. But I think on the whole, I'm very happy with how that's looking at the moment. So I'm just gonna pull back the camera. Oh, tripod's being funny. Just pull back the camera a little bit so you can kind of see how it's turned out and how it looks and how far it's come in the past couple of weeks that I've been working on this. So I hope you've enjoyed those videos. I hope that maybe you've been inspired to start your own painting as well. I might suggest you start with the landscape instead. I think starting with a person in this video might have been a mistake on my part. I wish I'd kind of gone back in time and chosen something a little simpler, but I think it's good on the whole. So if you like the video, please do the whole YouTube thing, share, enjoy, subscribe, like, etc. And have yourself a fantastic day. Bye bye now.